Everybody, how's it going? Aaron Rift here from NoDQ.com. Welcome to the NoDQ predictions video for NXT Takeover Portland, the first standalone NXT Takeover in many years. Usually NXT Takeovers are attached to a major WWE pay-per-view, but this is in fact a standalone show. I am being joined by members of Team NoDQ. First, let's introduce the longtime moderator for the NoDQ review, Virtue. How's it going, man? How are you feeling about this show?
Yeah, it's NXT, it's Takeover. It's going to be wrestling, right? People are going to say, awesome show. I don't think I've ever heard a Takeover get lower than a B+ from people. So, it's going to be good going in. How do they get fans' expectations that already know it's going to be good or great even more excited? I don't know. I mean, this has a lot of great matches planned. So, whatever. I can't wait, I guess. Matt Riddle is going to compete for the tag team championship, right? He's competing for gold in the midst of a controversy with Brock Lesnar. I can't wait. So that's how I feel, Aaron. What about you?
I am very excited for this show. It is arguably the most stacked NXT card that WWE has ever put out. 6 matches on the main show. And all of them, I think, could potentially be show stealers. I mean, it's gonna be a WrestleMania-like takeover, and this could go down as one of the greatest takeovers of all time. But we're also being joined here tonight by the reigning and defending NoDQ Predictions League champion. He got the most predictions right in our league for 2019. He's been on our panel videos before. Josh, a.k.a. Sun Goshiku. I know that's not exactly the correct pronunciation, but you can give it to us.
Close enough.
How's it going, man?
Going good. As per my traditional introduction, hey everybody, Sun Goshiku here. Just got through with my birthday a couple of days ago. I'm blessed to still be here in life. Blessed to be here back in NoDQ, ready to talk about, like you said, what's going to definitely be a stack card for NXT this Sunday.
Absolutely. All right. So shout out to everybody in the chat room. Now, if you guys want, feel free to leave your comments and give your predictions. And the better they are, the better chance you'll have of your comment being featured on the video screen here. So you can be part of the video. Give us your thoughts and your predictions. Your well thought out comments could appear on the screen tonight. So let's go ahead and get started with the first match, and I'm going to pop up the graphic here. We have Keith Lee defending the North American Championship against, let me see if I can pronounce this correctly, Dominik Dijakovic. This is going to be a hell of a match. Both of these guys are red hot in NXT right now. Keith Lee just won the North American title, so the question is, will he lose it right away? Keith Lee is arguably the hottest star, the hottest rising star in not just NXT, but WWE in general. A lot of people think that this guy has what it takes to be the future of the company. But what about Dominik? Dominik is a guy who's got the size, he's got a great look, and people should not overlook him either. So what's going to happen in this match? Son, I'm going to start with you. What are your thoughts on the match, and do you see a new champion being crowned?
It should be excellent. I was there live for NXT Takeover in Chicago for War Games, and seeing both of them compete live and perform was absolutely amazing. I really have grown to be a big fan of Keith Lee and the athleticism, and I think I told you before we started this, shout out to Mark Henry, who I thought did a fantastic job narrating the video package for them. Definitely should be a great match, but I'm going to go ahead and give it to Keith Lee because I think that's the one who's getting the big push right now. So I think they're going to want to keep the championship. I do think Donovan Dijakovic has definitely a bright future ahead of him and everything, but I think right now it's Keith Lee's time, and I think they're going to tear it down with a match. A match for the title finally between them two. So a lot of great things, but Keith Lee.
All right, Virtue, do you agree or disagree? I know you're not Big G, but what are your thoughts on this one?
What I think should happen is I think Dijakovic should win the title. That's what I think should happen, because you got to free that title up or take it off of Keith Lee. He should be in the NXT main event. Nothing against Adam Cole and the Finn Balors and the Garganos and the Ciampas. Super heavyweights need to be in the biggest division there is, which is, to me, the NXT Championship division. So that's what I think should happen. But however, I think they will have a lengthy run with this title for Keith Lee. So by that theory, he's going to retain. But if I had my way, Dijakovic would utilize this title a lot better right now, and you could push Keith Lee right into the main event. That's just what I think. But I think they'll play it safe. Keith Lee will retain. He'll keep this title probably through WrestleMania. So we'll see what happens. But it should be a good match. I like both of these guys.
That's a really interesting point, Virtue. I do agree with you on that. I think Keith Lee should be pushed really strong, and I think that they should strike the iron when it's hot, which I've said before. And I could see him going for the NXT World title. Like, I feel the North American title is almost holding him back a little bit. Like, I think you should strap the rocket to this guy, and if not fight for the NXT World title, he should be fighting for the main title in WWE. He should be getting in there with Brock, and they should be building this guy up as the future of the company. But I'm going to go with the safe route. I'm going to say Keith Lee retains the North American title, and I think Dominik will have a really great showing here, and I think it's going to be an awesome match. So I think we'll see what happens with that, and we'll move on here to the next match. Let me pull it up here. Wait just a second. All right, our next match is the street fight. We have Dakota Kai going up against Tegan Knox. So we got not one, but two women's matches on this show. Oh, and by the way, NoDQ Rocks has a theory that Killer Cross might interfere and attack Keith Lee after the match. I could see Killer Cross maybe at least showing up in the crowd. I could definitely see him being like that guy. They always show somebody in the crowd that's a newcomer. I could see Killer Cross possibly being that guy. But will he be Killer Cross, or will they drop Killer because it's too PG? I guess we'll wait and see on that one. All right, so anyways, the women's match, the first of two women's matches, the street fight. They had a match on NXT a few weeks ago, and Tegan Knox, I believe, picked up the victory. So because of that, I think it's going to be the 50-50 booking. I think Dakota Kai will be victorious in this one. And I think it's important to build up a heel challenger for Rhea Ripley. I know she's going to be most likely facing Charlotte at WrestleMania, but I think meanwhile in NXT, you got to start building up some heels for her to face. Thus, I think that we should see a victory from Dakota Kai here and build her up potentially as Rhea Ripley's next challenger. Virtue, what do you think?
This could be a coin flip. I kind of like Dakota Kai. I don't know, she's trying to be edgy. So I remember when she was more like a colorful type, like they like to do with the Baileys, the Candice LeRae's, way before she even got a lot of TV time. So I like this Dakota Kai, and because of 50-50 booking, I think she's going to win this match. Again, it's a coin flip, could go either way. So I don't know, man. It's just these NXT matches, I do horrible at them. I don't understand how, like, you got Son over there that wins predictions leagues because he nails all the NXT picks. It's almost like he's working for them down there, knowing who the winners are. I think it's an inside job.
Hey,
what do you think on this one, man?
Son, what are your thoughts?
Okay, sorry, I was lagging there a little bit. So I should also say about the predictions lead. While I probably I won most of them, they were probably choices that I necessarily didn't want to pick, but I picked because I'm thinking that's probably what the booking's going to do.
Because you got an insider. That's why.
Right? But yeah, as far as Dakota Kai goes, I think you brought up a good point. There's going to be some heel. You need some heel contenders to take on Rhea Ripley, who I already think is going to beat Bianca Belair. We'll get to that part. And besides, I think it would make sense in the story because, hey, Dakota Kai, she left them a woman short on the team, so I think it would make sense for her to want to get revenge back for that.
All right, and hey, good thing Big G's not on because he would just piggyback off of your picks, Son, and try to get that upper hand in the predictions league. Curtis Butler says that this is the female version of Gargano and Ciampa. Interesting comment there. We'll see if they could deliver. I mean, that's a pretty bold statement to make. Those are some big shoes to fill. All right.
Sure.
Aaron, quick question for you before you do the next match. What were the NXT versus AEW ratings from Wednesday night? Did those come out? I did not read them yet.
Yeah, AEW won again. They were down a bit. They were like 817,000, and NXT did like 750. So the gap did narrow a little bit. But next week, AEW's got their steel cage match, which could be a big ratings draw, but we'll have to see how that goes. All right, let's move on here to the next match, which is for the tag team titles, the NXT tag team titles. We have the Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, up against the BroserWeights, Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne. Hopefully the BroserWeights have made it to Portland. They had a long journey, stowaway in Triple H's private jet. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the team, so I'm curious to know what you guys think, not just the chat room, but you, Virtue, with you, Son. If you guys think it's time for a title change, if you think, since the BroserWeights are hot right now, they got the trophy, the Dusty Classic trophy, and they seem to be clicking as a tag team, is it time to pull the trigger on them, or should they perhaps maybe chase the titles a little bit? Should they break up? Curious to know what everybody thinks. So, Son, let's start with you. What are your thoughts on this match?
Well, they already got the North American title off of Roderick Strong, so I figured you might as well go ahead and put it on the the BroserWeights, which I thought those video segments were absolutely hilarious. I love when WWE goes outside the box with stuff like that. I wish we'd see more of it on the main roster. Only thing left now is I can't wait to get Triple H's reaction when he takes the luggage out and see they're in there. Yeah, big props for them shooting something like that. But yeah, I think you might as well go with the BroserWeights. They've got some momentum going on, and like I think you've been hinting at a lot in these videos, is that they could very well be coming to the end of the Undisputed Era. So I feel, go ahead, let Dunne and Riddle have their time now as tag champions.
All right, Virtue, what do you think?
They're the hottest thing in NXT because of Matt Riddle and the attention that he is getting for being Matt Riddle, right? Is it a shoot? Is it a work? Is Vince McMahon on Brock Lesnar's side? Is Triple H? Look, it's wrestling. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes 100%. This is clearly a work. I love how they're incorporating these two guys doing the stuff with Triple H's jet. They're red hot. They need the titles, right? Undisputed Era, they've been around. They've done their thing. You don't put the titles on the only way they don't win the titles is if they turn on each other. And it's not that type of scenario with this. So they're red hot. It's for them for something to do. And that's what the tag team titles are for when you put two guys together like this. And why Matt Riddle and Keith Lee aren't like fighting for the NXT World Championship, I don't know. Keith Lee is over here in the North American division. Matt Riddle is tied up in the tag division. Maybe they're just buying time. But I know superstars when I see them. And I'm telling you, I don't know if we'll get a match down the road with Goldberg or Lesnar, but it's happening one day. That's money. The internet's talking about it. Because Matt Riddle is on this team. People already like Pete Dunne. Bro, they're cool. They're winning the titles, hands down. If they don't win the tag titles here, then I'll shave my beard off. It'll be babyface.
All right,
that's
there
how
we go.
confident that's how confident I am.
That's quite the prediction there and quite the stipulation there from Virtue, putting his beard on the line for this match. The only way I could see the BroserWeights losing this is if WWE decides to delay it by one pay-per-view and have them chase it for a little bit. But I say strike the iron when it's hot. I don't know if either you guys know, maybe somebody in the chat room knows. I'm wondering if the Undisputed Era have been champions for too long. I just don't know how long they've been holding the titles. It seems like they've been champs for a while now. But I think it's time to go with it, go with the change, strike the iron when it's hot. So I'm going to go ahead and agree that the BroserWeights will win the tag team titles. Hey, same prediction as
Well, because I
Son.
could see they win the tag titles, and I could see Matt Riddle saying, hey, Lesnar and Goldberg, why don't you two dinosaurs team up and take on the Bro? Just as fodder, people are loving it. I mean, legends are not legends, right? Matt Riddle is a legit MMA fighter. Pete Dunne, right, has built a good reputation as a tough guy. Perfect team, perfect scenario right here. So, Aaron, like I said, this is gone if they don't win the titles.
All right. Yep, I want to see it because I want to see more of the dynamic of them as champions. You know, they're kind of like that odd couple, and I say just, you know, you got to go with it when it's hot. All right, let's move on here to the next match, which is for the NXT Women's Championship. I guess it's back to being the NXT Women's Championship. Who knows at this point, but we'll just call it the Women's Championship. We got Rhea Ripley defending the championship against Bianca Belair. Now, the question is Bianca Belair just somebody for Rhea Ripley to face before WrestleMania? Just somebody to get through, and then she's going to face Charlotte at WrestleMania? Or could we possibly see a big swerve that nobody sees coming where Bianca Belair wins the title? I don't think it's going to happen, although stranger things have happened in WWE. Maybe Bianca wins and then she loses the title back to Rhea, or maybe they do a triple threat for WrestleMania. I mean, there are possibilities, but I'm going to go the safe route and say that Rhea Ripley retains, and you do Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte one-on-one at WrestleMania. The question is, what will Rhea Ripley do before WrestleMania unless they decide to do Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte at TakeOver instead? So that could be a different scenario too if Charlotte decides to go for the match. Although that really wouldn't make sense since she won the Royal Rumble. So I'm just curious, what's Rhea Ripley doing at the TakeOver, if anything? Maybe she doesn't have a match, but I'm curious to know what you guys think. Now, Ken Terminated by Google just sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, Ken. Appreciate it. He says, Rift, is Virtue using Jim Neidhart's storyline by putting his beard on the line if the Hart Foundation loses that match at SummerSlam? LOL. Are you copying Jim Neidhart, Virtue?
Sure, why not, bro? I don't care if I'm copying anybody. There's no copyright infringement on a gimmick like that. I'm putting my beard on the line behind Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne. So, but weren't we past that match? We're past it. We're talking about the females, aren't we?
Yeah. Now, Christopher Stikelether has an interesting comment. Maybe it'll be a no contest where Charlotte interferes and then they do a triple threat at WrestleMania. Maybe they could do the triple threat. They could end up doing a no contest and then doing a rematch at the TakeOver the night before WrestleMania, so Charlotte's not even going to know who she's facing until WrestleMania. But either way, I'm saying that Rhea retains the title flat out. Virtue, what do you think?
Yes. She retains the title flat out, because if they tried to get convoluted with this and had Bianca Belair somehow get in the mix and create a triple threat, okay, Bianca Belair didn't have to win the Royal Rumble to get a shot at the NXT Women's Championship. And it goes back to my argument. If Charlotte was going to be facing Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's Championship at WrestleMania, she should not have won the Royal Rumble. It should have been Shayna Baszler. But again, it is what it is. It's happened. We can't go back and redo it. I can't go back and redo it. So because Charlotte won, and this is the title that she's challenging for, I feel she could be there and she could be involved somehow, but the title is definitely not going to change hands. It could end in a disqualification, but I would not like to see Bianca Belair get into this feud. It needs to be one-on-one because Charlotte did win the Rumble and is challenging Ripley. I don't want to see a convoluted triple threat. I hate when a winner of a Rumble ends up in a match for a title and somebody else is in that match, because then it really waters down the win of the Royal Rumble. Am I right, Sean, on that?
Absolutely, I agree. I don't want to see another triple threat. Because last year, even when they did Charlotte, Becky, and they did Ronda, the big match everybody wanted to see, including myself, was Becky versus Ronda, and then they threw Charlotte in there. But the thing here, there is some story where Bianca Belair is against Charlotte because that was the one that eliminated her. But I think the big match to do is Rhea versus Charlotte, which I'm glad that they are doing, because I never had a problem with Charlotte winning the Rumble, because it's still a new concept to do the Women's Royal Rumble. So I do think Charlotte deserved to win one. But my thing was, I'm looking at it like, who is she going to face? So when they put her up against Rhea, I'm like, okay, we've got something new and fresh here. And for that reason, I believe Rhea Ripley is going to win this title, and we're going to retain the title. And then I don't know what they're going to do moving forward. Maybe they'll just put her on the main roster and stuff like that. And they're going to have her and Charlotte go at it. So we'll see. Something I too would like to ask you guys. Would you have been a better fan if Charlotte went on NXT and challenged Rhea as opposed to Rhea challenging Charlotte? Because I know with Rhea being on like the third brand, it would make sense why she would want to take
That's the
out,
only thing that saved
the big
it.
dog.
So
there.
that's the only thing that saved it. If Charlotte won the Rumble and would have went to NXT, look, I get that it's supposed to be this third brand, but it's still, they haven't done a good job of presenting it that way. Like if they would have spent the last year saying this is a third brand, it's not developmental anymore, I would not be saying this. And Chris Mace and Colin Andrew, you both know that. They just have not developed NXT into, so I would have, they did it the right way in terms of having Rhea Ripley go to Raw. I would have been even more irate. What about you, Aaron? If Charlotte would have went there first, I would have been like pulling my hair out.
Yeah, and I think they should stick with the singles match. Triple threat, I'm not really a big fan of it. And if anything, they should just maybe not have Rhea defend the title at the takeover and just have her defend against Charlotte at WrestleMania. That's what I would do at least, because I think it's just maybe a little bit too much if they try to squeeze in another title match right before the pay-per-view. Like, build up Charlotte versus Rhea, let them have a good solid month or 6 weeks to set up that match. All right, so now we move on to...
But I do hope Charlotte's there. I do hope she's there on Saturday night. I mean, she should be to further that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's the type of stuff. To make this pay-per-view seem like even more important, like I said, I'm not a fan of how it's happening, but since it's happening, we can't go back. I do hope she is there for this match.
Yeah,
they show her.
I think we'll see Charlotte at the show, and she'll play some kind of role. I don't know if she'll interfere or not, but she will make her presence felt. I think that's a pretty safe prediction. All right, so now we move on to our semi-main event match. It is Johnny Gargano, Johnny Wrestling, up against former Intercontinental Champion Finn Bálor, who made his return not too long ago to NXT. This should be a hell of a match. Gargano always delivers on pay-per-view, and Bálor seems more motivated now that he's back in NXT, and we know what he can do. The question is, will Bálor put over the NXT guys, or is he going to continue to be dominant in NXT? If we're looking at wrestling like it's real, like you would think Bálor would be the guy with the advantage because he's the guy with the experience on the main roster. So then again, NXT is no longer considered developmental. They're supposed to be like a third equal brand now. So I'm not really sure who goes over in this because
according to who? One tweet? I'm still waiting for them to really say that. So like you say that, but I still don't believe it. WWE has not convinced me.
All right. Well, what do you think about this match? I mean, what do you see the future direction? Who do you see being invested in more? Do you see WWE putting more into Finn Bálor, or do you see Johnny Gargano being put into the world title picture? Like, what do you see for both of these guys moving forward?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
Finn Bálor is going to win this match. Johnny Gargano very seldomly wins big matches. I know he has, but when they look at him, they say he's going to go out there and do 20-plus minutes of Johnny Gargano, Johnny Wrestling, and the fans are going to eat it up. It don't matter if he wins or loses. Because that's his resume for the most part. He has won a big match or two, but he jobs usually. Finn's going over, in my opinion, hands down. And I would not be surprised if we are surprised of all surprises. And when he comes out through his entrance, even though he said we're not going to see it anymore, that we see Demon Finn Bálor, just so everybody can have a Twitter holy shit moment. I think that it could happen. But either way, with or without that, he's going over Gargano, in my opinion. Johnny is the little engine that could get all the way to the end, but hardly past the finish line. Like Shawn Michaels had many of great WrestleMania matches. He won, 4 out of 15? He didn't win many of them. So, like, Gargano doesn't need to win, and he still gets over with the fans. Finn, I think, needs to win.
All right.
Can't go down from main roster to NXT and not win your matches. That's just my opinion.
Well, that's a very valid point. Now, Christopher...
And that could help legitimize it as its own brand, having guys like Finn win more. A main roster guy coming down there and win more. Hey, NXT is a brand now. That's what I think.
Now, Chris Steichleather mentioned that maybe Bálor will lose this, and then we'll see perhaps the Demon. I guess he's saying the full transformation, so I'm assuming that means the Demon, or the full transformation of Prince Devitt. So maybe we'll see Bálor do his alter ego in a rematch and get his win back. But I'm going to go with the safe pick again and just go with Finn Bálor. and say that he'll win and he'll go on to face whoever the NXT champion is. Son, what do you think?
So yeah, I think Finn Balor is going to win. I think Triple H and everyone who's helping him book the NXT, they want to protect the fact that he was the first ever Universal Champion, and they want to show that okay, you go to the main roster, you come back to NXT, it's a big deal when you had success on the main roster. I think it's going to be a great match, but I do think that Johnny Gargano is going to take the loss, and they're going to want to just keep Finn Balor strong because they'll probably put him in the main event world title picture soon whenever they're done with Adam Cole's run. Possibly, I think.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, and correction, Aaron. I said Saturday. It's Sunday. See, they're trying to make it like a main brand, right? It's Sunday. That's just. Is it the first NXT on a Sunday?
Yeah, I think so because you always got one of the main pay-per-views on the Sunday. So now they got the Sunday opened up and available. Yeah, I think with Finn Balor, it makes sense to keep him strong and put him in a world title match eventually. If he loses to Johnny Gargano, then that kind of waters him down a little bit. And I think that there's some value in putting Balor in a world title match undefeated since his return to NXT. So yeah, I got to go with Finn on this one because of his star power. Gargano's great and all, but you got to go with the star power and the guy that has the most market value, which is Balor, because he's had that time on the main roster. All right, so now we move on to the main event of the evening, the NXT World Championship match. And let me pull up the graphic here for the main event. We got Adam Cole, baby, defending the NXT title against Tommaso Ciampa. And what a build they've had for this match. I love the promo from Ciampa on NXT this week when he was in the back and he was watching the footage of Triple H and when he had to relinquish the title. And he just cut this very passionate promo. And Adam Cole's been on a roll. Now, interestingly enough, Adam Cole, I believe if he retains the title, he will officially be the longest reigning NXT champion in history. So will he survive? As Ciampa's song goes, nobody will survive. But will he get past this and become the longest reigning champion? That remains to be seen. I'll start with you, Son. What do you think about this one? Do you think we're going to get a new champion, or do you think Cole will break that record? What do you think is going to happen?
I think Adam Cole's going to win. And to bring up something earlier that Virtue was saying about Keith Lee should be in the main event scene, when I was thinking about this match, I'm thinking even if Adam Cole retains the title, I don't know what else there is really left for him to do, maybe possibly as world champion. So I feel like, especially if they end up taking the titles off the remaining of the Undisputed Era, then someone new has to be put in that spot. And I don't necessarily think Ciampa should get the title back because he already had a lengthy reign. So yeah, I think Adam Cole wins, but it does bring up something interesting in the fact that, like maybe if they do take the North American title off of Keith Lee and then have him go up against Adam Cole heading into WrestleMania, just could be something they go. But yeah, I say Adam Cole pulls it out for one more title victory, but I actually am not sure where else there is to go with him because he's had a lengthy title reign as well.
Well, I am going to say that Adam Cole retains because I think if Ciampa's going to win back the title, which he may not, but if that's the plan, I think it would be better for him to chase it a little bit rather than just win it back right away. Have him chase the title and maybe lose and have to come back and fight for it. I think there's a better story in that instead of him just winning it back. And plus, he was injured, and I wonder if WWE might be a little bit cautious of putting the title back on him since he has been a bit injury-prone. He's gotten hurt a couple of times, so I wonder if that will be a factor. But I think when you weigh all that in, I could see Cole retaining maybe in a controversial fashion and then go on to WrestleMania, and maybe we'll get a rematch between those guys, or maybe they'll do a triple threat or something like that. They'll add Bálor to the mix. But I think this will continue on. I think Ciampa will get another shot at Cole, but Cole's going to be victorious in this match. Virtue, what do you think?
New champion, Ciampa. I mean, as intense as he is with the way they're building this up, with, to me, Undisputed Era kind of unraveling, I cannot see Adam Cole beat Ciampa clean in any way imaginable. I just can't, even if with cheating. and especially the rate kickouts happen in NXT. I think Ciampa's going to win this title back. Now, Ciampa, would he be considered a babyface? Yes, right? He's a babyface right now, correct? What direction do you think they might be doing with some other talent? Velveteen Dream. I could see Velveteen Dream get in the title mix with Ciampa being the champion. We'll have to see how it plays out. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm wrong because it's NXT, right? And I got like 35% of my picks right last year for NXT. But I think personally, I'm going to go with this. Ciampa should win the title, in my opinion.
Yeah, because you could do Ciampa versus Bálor at WrestleMania. That's a possibility. But I could also see there being a triple threat, and Ciampa still gets one more opportunity. So we'll see what happens. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say, too, I've been hearing a lot of talk that John Cena personally has been wanting to face the Velveteen Dream at WrestleMania. So that's one of the reasons I'm thinking that he may not get put in the world title picture if Cena is requesting a match with him.
Ratnick says Adam Cole gets called up just to job to Baron Corbin. I don't think that's going to happen. But, they're going to do a storyline. I think they're going to do something with the Undisputed Era, possibly breaking up or whatever before they actually go to the main roster. So I don't see that happening anytime in the immediate future. But anyways, guys, that's all the matches for NXT TakeOver. Thank you guys so much for watching and being part of the live stream. Let's go ahead and do our plugs. We're going to start off with Sun. Anything you would like to plug or promote? Go for it.
Yeah, so on my YouTube channel, and I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter as well. You already see, I'm pretty sure Aaron has the handle down there. Right now, if you want to see some of my artwork and you're a fan of the anime My Hero Academia, I recently did art that was a tribute to my friend's birthday, so you can check that speed art out. And also currently working on audio right now for my upcoming short film, Battle Deception. So if you want to see that, the trailer is right there on my YouTube. And just want to say thank you both for having me on today, and thank you everybody who is watching live or going to be watching on demand. Much appreciated. Keep supporting NoDQ.
All right. Well, we do have a $5 super chat from Mike D. So I guess we got a little bit of a break here from NXT. One more topic here. Mike D says, would you guys rather see John Cena versus Bray Wyatt for the title at WrestleMania and have Roman Reigns versus Goldberg, or have Roman Reigns versus Bray for the title and Cena versus Goldberg? Who wants to go first on this one? Virtue, you got an opinion? You're a Roman Reigns guy.
I would rather. I don't care as long as Roman Reigns is in a big profile match that has an opportunity to go on last. We'll see. I mean, let's just stick with the plan, right? Have Bray Wyatt defend against Roman Reigns. I'd actually be okay if Daniel Bryan was in that mix too. But whatever you do with the part-timers, Goldberg and Cena, put them together. Put them, or have them like Velveteen Dream with Cena, like you said. Like, don't mess with what you probably had planned already.
Yeah. I say go with The Fiend versus Roman Reigns and John Cena versus Goldberg. John Cena and Goldberg would be really interesting. And I agree. Do the part-timers battle at WrestleMania. I like that idea. Son, what are your thoughts on that? And also, Chris Mace wants to know your YouTube channel.
YouTube.com/Sungoshoku. Just, it's the way it's spelled right there. I'd rather see Roman and The Fiend go at it. Same reasons, honestly, Roman gave in his interview where he said, Fiend's been busting his butt for all this time. But I do, at least sometime in the future, would like to see The Fiend get his win back against John Cena. That's one of the things about his storylines where he's getting revenge. Like, he wanted to get revenge against Daniel, but he did. He beat Daniel in the 2014 Royal Rumble. So I'd rather see someone like he get his revenge against John Cena, because that's kind of where like a lot of that losing started right there at WrestleMania 30. And I think later on, if Goldberg comes back for more matches, sure, put him up against Cena and Roman. So those aren't bad matches, just I wouldn't mind seeing them later on down. But yeah, let's not screw with whatever the plan is right now.
All right. Virtue, go ahead with your plugs.
Follow me on Twitter at NoDQ_Virtue. Go to my Facebook, NoDQ.com/Virtue. We are doing the NoDQ review live on Tuesday night next week at 7 p.m. And Aaron can give you more information on that in case you came here tonight thinking you were going to get a traditional review with Robbie Weiss and the rest of the crew. This was still fun doing this, but we had to do the NXT TakeOver predictions, so we decided to do that tonight. But Aaron, tell them, we will bring back the review very soon.
Yep, the NoDQ review will be on Tuesday night, and I'm not sure who the 4 people will be. Maybe Sun will be on again. I'm not sure. But it will be Tuesday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain Time. So tune in Tuesday night. We'll talk about the fallout from NXT TakeOver. We'll talk about Raw. We'll talk about some of the stuff that happened this week. So tune in. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, a thumbs up on YouTube, and subscribe. Turn on the notifications. Click that bell so you can get updated videos as they become available. And Big G just sent in a $2 super chat saying, just stopping by to say what's up. How's it going, Big G? Hey, Big G, real quick here before we sign off, if you want to throw us your predictions, I'll put them up on the screen so you can have your little moment on the predictions video. So Big G, if you get this...
Oh, he'll have to do $3 more. That's $5 worth at least to put it on the screen. He only did 2.
Yes, Sun is the current No DQ predictions champion. So basically, the whole group of us, we have like 18 people in the No DQ predictions league, and every month we do the predictions. And our man Noah Foster, who you guys can follow, I believe it's N Foster 1916 or 1906, I'm not sure. I'll look that up right now and verify it here. But anyways, Noah does a great job at keeping score of everybody's predictions, and he's very thorough with it. N Foster 1916 is his Twitter handle, so make sure you guys follow him. Psycho Jet Black is here with a $2 super chat. Interesting question here. What was the worst NXT takeover? Man, that's a tough one. Maybe one of the earlier ones. You know, the one from June, this past June, I thought was good, but not like a stellar takeover. I don't know if either of you have an opinion on it. It's hard because there's been so many of them, and they've all been great. So it's like I can't think of one that was like not really that good. But you know, that June one was one of the weaker shows in my opinion. I think it was Money in the Bank weekend, but I'm not entirely sure. But it was around that time. Sometime, what was it? Like it was the end of May, I think. It was like May 28th or May 29th. To me, that was probably the weakest one overall. Any other thoughts from you guys? Like any takeovers you thought were maybe just okay? I mean, they've all been great, really, in my opinion.
It's very hard.
Wasn't there a takeover over in London before NXT UK started? Wasn't there? I think Asuka fought Emma, and there was one in London, I think, over in England. And I just, because that England crowd gets so obnoxious, that might, if I had to pick one. I mean, but like you said, Aaron, there's really not one. I mean, you'd have to go back and look at all the cards and see what show had your least favorite wrestlers on it. Like, that's how hard. Think about it. We could easily say what the worst main event pay-per-views are, but when you think of TakeOver, you literally just can't say it. You have to guess or go back and look at the cards because they're like even the worst ones really not that bad.
Exactly. You know, maybe one of the early ones because they were good, but, you know, they just kept getting better over time. Big G sent in his $5 super chat. So his predictions, Gargano, Rhea Ripley retains, Ciampa wins the title, BroserWeights win the tag titles, and Keith Lee retains, and then Tegan Knox is victorious. Said he spelled it Knox. I don't think she's the sister of Mike Knox, but thank you for that, Big G. We do appreciate it. All right, guys, that'll wrap it up. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Sun, for coming in.
I was just gonna say about the NXT. It's just really hard. I just got to put his least favorite. I can't think of anything, but when I think of the main roster, I can definitely think of some shows that was like, oh, okay, this is horrible and stuff. So yeah, I think that's just testament to how well Triple H has done in building up the NXT brand. I start my NXT reviews all the time saying there's nothing that's bad. It's always either good or great when it comes to NXT. Right. That was all.
I forgot to plug the merch. So you guys should head over to NoDQ.com/merch and pick up some of the stuff we have on there. We got cups, we got hoodies, we got shirts, we got lots of stuff on there. Pretty much anything you could think of. We had hats. Actually, we do have hats up on there. Hopefully we'll have beanies on there soon. But anyways, guys, that'll wrap it up for this video. Thank you all for watching. Have a great evening, everyone. Take care, and we will see you next time.
Guys, peace.